Ah, Ragnarok, 100 days hardcore. Let's go. It's time to get this done. Wait, why does that say restricted? Hey, Nick? Nick? Why does that say restricted? What do you mean there's a letter from legal? What? Okay, apparently, I can't use flyers? What? Okay, griffins and wyverns only. No traps? What? Okay, this is gonna be interesting. I'll go over the rest as we go along, so let's just go ahead and get into this. Day 1. And of course, I named my chibi Tame. And I spawned an Ebluob for the free loot crates over here. Let's see what we can find. Some stone arrows, wooden shield, a pike, some more arrows. Ooh, the crossbow. That'll help me go murderize some dodos to get some hide and meat right away. Just like this. Goodbye, dodo.
Nope.
Excuse me? That's more like it.
Nope.
Excuse me? What is up with these dodos?
Nope.
Bruh. And after clearing the beach of these flightless birds, I decided to go ahead and cook up their meat for some lovely dinner. And having to stay near the fire to stay warm, just went ahead and chopped down all these trees real fast for some good resources and XP. Let's get some storage down and make some foundations to level up as fast as possible because I gotta be level 99 by day 99. Ha, easy. Let's go! And on the early morning hours of day 2, we placed a raft, picked up our base, put the base on the raft, and then started to sail away to our semi-permanent base location, which wasn't going to be here, but wasn't close. But we did pick up some metal on our way out. Tame, why does it look like you're bursting out of my chest? Tame? Metal. Look, I'm the invisible man. What is going on? What is this? Well, I finally found myself on Ragnarok's herbivore island, but turns out I can't tame Ankies. Okay, thanks legal. I only have 11 arrows anyway to try to knock something out, so this level 35 stego's gonna have to do. And of course I ran out of drink arrows, so that means I just had to run down and just keep punching it till it went to sleep. Luckily, the trank arrow's effectiveness built up and it passed out. Then I tamed it up with some berries, which took a while, but now we had our first tame. And of course, you know, the first thing we did was harvest those dang old berries. And time to harvest up some parasaurs for their hide and meat, and this was about the time I noticed there was some serious lag going on the server, and the entire playthrough I was not going to get this fixed.
Nope.
You know what this is? This is called failure.
Nope.
Yeah, okay, we're just gonna pretend that happened on the first shot. Yep, okay, cool. Now, I decided to AFK for a little bit, go have some lunch, and when I returned, I was dying of heat stroke. Great. Well, I tried to cool off in the water, that wasn't working too well. Picked up the stego and sailed over to the far island for the bountiful, rich metal nodes that could be found, plus the high ground, which was, you know, a good place to start the base. Alright, let's look over some of these notes from legal. So I can't use traps on creatures I'm taking to the boss fights. Okay, I can't use flyers. Yeah, okay. No Dodix, Ankies, don't need dragons, beavers, none of those. No, those are all gone. Okay. Sure, okay, no net gun, no AC. Oh, sounds like my apartment in California. Alright, there's also a to-do list. Okay, a Griffin by day 10. Wyvern by day 20. Okay. Duel. Ice Queen by day 50. Lava Golem by day 75. Great. Haven't ever done that, so hopefully that'll go smoothly. And just a little base building. Literally, just a little base. With a few base amenities, of course. And then it was on to the resource grind. Just a little bit of hide. And this one I was actually trying to tame. Well, you can guess how this goes.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Well, I'll use right over to Fiona, aim the stego Rudy, of course, and then learn some ghillie because that was going to come in very handy in the desert. And then day 3 I decided it would be a good idea to try to tame a megalodon, and let's just say things did not go well. I was burning up in the high armor, so I had to go in naked and jump in blind to see if there was any nearby. Luckily, there was. This is totally the lag. This is not me missing.
Nope.
Okay, how about we use the raft, get a little bit closer, and shoot from there.
Nope.
You guys saw that, right? Then it's just slow ahead to the shore.
Slow ahead. I can go slow ahead.
Now, things were seemingly going fine, but then it started to swim away.
Come on down and chump some of this shit. You're gonna need a bigger boat.
And I seemingly had gotten lucky when the shark got itself stuck on the ruins here, but then, of course, I ran out of tricks. The shark disappeared while I was crafting more, and then this guy started doing his best impression of Bruce. Now, this continued for quite some time, and so did most of the teams going forward, not having any traps, not using any net projectiles. Let's just say taming creatures was not easy. Day 4 was basically wasted trying to chase this megalodon down. Eventually the crossbow broke and just couldn't find the dang old thing. So instead I decided to lay some pipe, knock out this poop cow, and get some crops coming.
With farming. Man of your talents?
After using myself as bait for these megalodon, got them close enough into the shallows and it was easy enough to knock this low level one out. I mean, right after they almost killed me. Easy, yeah, easy. This one did eventually get stuck, and no thanks to the lag, we did get it knocked out. And while it was taming up, we went around and found some oil crawling around on the beach. And after grinding out enough resources to make the saddle, the megalodon was tamed up, and the first thing we did was, of course, terrorize the local Bronto population for some easy levels and, well, some meat and hide. Hey, it's the three amigos. Now, I'm about to do something really stupid. Like, I needed to go get some crystal and knew exactly where it was, so that's what I did. Now, I get there, but I unfortunately only had 3 grapples and didn't realize that you can get up there without using any grapples, which is what I did in the end.
Nope.
So yeah. Anywho, I did eventually make it up, got some crystal obsidian, and headed out. And of course, the first thing I used with that crystal was to make a spyglass, because I only had about 3 days left to go tame a Griffin, and I kind of wanted a good level one. So let's go. Yeah, right after we defend our water tames from this 174 megalodon. And at the end of day 6, I finally found the barber, and of course, the barber was me. Well, I got bored trying to tame up this raptor and shot this PT for no good reason. And later it was time to go ahead and name this raptor Jerry and go on the hunt for a Griffin. I think they spawn here, right? Maybe over here? Hey, wait a minute. Oh, hello? Alright, well, this looks like a pretty good spot to put a trap, so let's see what we can do. Alright, we got our trap set. Let's get this Griffin in here, and we're good to go. Alright, let's go. Hey, wait a minute. Hey, Jerry, what?
Damn it, Jerry, you just had to do your job, didn't you?
Alright, cool. Things are going great until this other Griffin gets in the mix. Oh, you son of a... And then it kills Jerry. You told. After dealing with that nuisance, went back to going and knocking this guy out, and that's what happened. He knocked the out. And after getting the high ground, I saw I wasn't the only one up here. Perfect, you're all that I need right now.
Excuse me, sir. You're all my friend needs.
Hey, did you know there's 2 sunrises on Ragnarok? I didn't, but apparently there are. And there's also 2 Rexes now. Great. Now, unfortunately, this 180 female Rex with 35 into health pre-tame had to take her down. And then...
What? What the fuck? What?
Yeah, I was having some major internet issues during the whole recording of this. But thankfully, when I logged back in, I was still on the rock. The Griffin was still knocked out. And taming. Where is that T-Rex?
Hello, mother...
Now, eventually, the Griffin did wake up, and it was the only one we ever tamed, because we can't breed them. But this dude did become the MVP, or should I say MVG, Most Valuable Griffin. Okay, I'll show myself out. Hey, and just like that, we completed our first challenge 2 days early. Let's go! Let me just say, the next challenge doesn't go quite as smoothly, because I have up until day 20 to get at least 1 wyvern egg. And let's say if I don't, things are gonna get a little bit dicey. But until then, it was time to go hunt for some beaver dams. Beaver dams. We're going to go hunt some beaver dams. And after returning home and cooking up some mutton for myself, I took some of the raw mutton and tamed a basset. This was going to make getting those silica pearls a little bit easier because it was going to have way better weight than the megalodon. And on day 10, it was just getting all the major resources we need, some more wood, some organic polymer and crystal, and we were basically mid-level. Nice, let's go! Well, the next day I started out going out and killing some alpha creatures for some good levels. And then I went ahead and did something equally stupid as before and tried to, sneak into the wyvern trench through the back entrance. They won't know I'm here, right? So far so good. Can I get a little bit closer? And, not die. Okay, so good so far. Oh no, he saw me. He saw me. And apparently pretty determined. Oh, no, apparently not. Well, it got caught in this tree and I got myself some levels. Let's go. I apparently knocked out this really low level tech quetz. Like, I don't even think I used it for anything. Why did I do this? I seriously don't know if this tech quetz ever makes a reoccurrence in this video, but if you do find yourself liking this video at any point, go ahead and give it a thumbs up because that helps out so much. Hit the subscribe if you want to see what happens next in the 1,000 hour journey of PvP. Yeah, that's right, that's coming next. You don't want to miss it. Hit that subscribe button right now. Let's go! And on day 13, we started off by logging in and looking at the base we had built on day 12. Not really much of anything, so yeah. Let's see what else we can get into today. Apparently not much other than fortifying our base so that we could be a little bit safer because, well, dire wolves and Yutis do spawn right here, but we are really close to metal, so I'm gonna risk it. And at the end of the day, I finally decided to name the Griffin Griffin. And turns out we did end up using that tech quetz, and we named it Mr. Roboto. Unfortunately, he was just a bit too slow. And yes, I still hadn't gotten to the stage where I can make a mining drill, so I was still harvesting by hand. How do we speed this up? I need definitely a lot more experience. So, as any good breeder would know, you just kill the unwanted babies for some massive experience gain. Yeah, that's why I'm out here taming this mid-level Rex, and then I'm gonna find another one, and then we're gonna start the baby making blender machine. Yeah, you can only say that in ARK, so please don't demonetize me. Waited about half the day and finally a Rex tamed up and we had half of our breeding experience farm ready to go. Now out looking for more Rexes, I'm out in the highlands and come across this extremely high level unicorn and well, I didn't want to pass it up, so I grabbed some free rock carrots by the nearby spawns and tried to tame it up. Unfortunately, with the lag and this thing running out into the ocean, yeah, I never actually ended up taming it, so yeah. Now, later in the day, still hadn't found a decent male Rex to tame up, and, well, I came across this female, and that would at least double our egg production, so knocked her out. While she was knocked out and eating some prime meat, we came across this 187 Tech Rex, so let's, try to tame that up too. Why not? Let's go. It's a hard, let's do it.
And she looks back and she's like, ah! And then she gives chase, so now we're booking it at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm gaining on her. She starts to go into that, dead end shuffle, that women do when you chase them.
And knocked her out. Let's go. While she was taming and after the sun came up, I came over here and tamed up some dimetrodons, as I was gonna need some natural air conditioning, as for some reason... Nick, why is no ACs on the list? Really? Oh, alright. Well, knocked out this jerboa while I was waiting around, and then later found this really low-level male to get a breeding pair. So I thought. Rex tame complete and male Dimetrodon almost done. The female's torpor was a bit of a problem because I couldn't get enough narco berries to keep her under long enough. And I didn't really plan for this and didn't bring any narcotics with me. And here I am scrambling to find any bit of narco berries whatsoever off this stupid island and couldn't find any, and then this is how close I got. Yeah. Got close enough to open the inventory at the exact moment it woke up. So yeah, big rip on that. That's what I have to say about that. And without enough darts to knock it out again, we were just gonna have to leave it there and probably come back and try again some other day. Luckily, that low-level male came in pretty clutch as a egg incubator later on in the series. Just you wait. Now, day 17 started and I was still harvesting everything by hand. Well, except wood, but I think it's time to go get that mining drill, which means it's time to go kill some more alphas for the XP. And after searching for what felt like the entirety of the day, because it basically was, I finally came across a decent level 114 alpha mag and, well, you know. Then after spending the entirety of the night into day 18 killing the alpha, I realized I was half a level short. So back out to the waters I went, looking for another alpha, unsuccessful, but I did end up killing enough fish to eventually get that last half a level. So, mining drill anyone? And now we're gathering metal like pros. And of course this all leads to the Holy Industrial Forge. I then spent the rest of day 18 and 19 gathering resources for my next to-do list, steal a wyvern egg by day 20. And with all the bullets crafted up that I possibly could and a generator, it was off to a nice little spot to set up my new wyvern death trap. Now the idea was sound, but the build was, well, less than good because the exposed generator and electrical cables would later result in a technical failure. Perfect. Oh yeah, I totally forgot the gas. Be right back. Alright, now that that's cleared up, let's find our first contestant. Yeah, things are going great. This is supposed to be good. Oh yeah, exposed electrical wires. Well, went ahead and finished this guy off the old-fashioned way, went back to base, and on the way back got griefed by this fire wyvern that happened to catch me while I'm running out of stam. This is going perfect. Okay, that guy dealt with, and let's get this final trap built for real this time. That's the wrong cable. Alright, one more quick trip back. Oh, I already had two ready to go. Well, now that I've got that all cleared up, time to make this death trap for real. And did that day counter really just tick over? Yep, because it's after midnight. Perfect. Okay, let's check the notes. Okay, so I have to get one of each wyvern egg now because I failed to get one egg by day 20. So now it's not just getting it one time, I gotta get 3 eggs. Perfect, just perfect. Well, no time like the present. And so the majority of day 21 was spent luring out wyverns to their death, going back and checking for eggs. And this repeated until I finally found a couple. The first one being a lightning wyvern egg. You want to guess the level? Did you guess 108? Because that's what I got. Even got a whole mess out at one point. I was a little worried, 2 autos and 4 wyverns, but you know what? It worked. So, yay! Alright, time for egg number 2. Alright, just a low-level poison wyvern, but it does get the attention of quite a few wyverns in the area. We're good here, right? Right? Nope. Alright, turrets, come on, turrets, do your thing. Kill the beast. Okay, we're good. Let's go get that last wyvern egg. Alright, and last but not least, a fire egg. Oh, it's a 216! Oh, let's go! And with a quick flight back over to base, we find out that it's only gonna take, 5 hours to hatch this egg. That's gonna be 5 days. Nick? Can we look into this? Spent the rest of the day playing a game of You Don't See Me with this Giga, out gathering some organic poly, then went to grab some pearls, this time with some scuba, and at the end of the day did get lucky enough and found this low-level male Rex. Unfortunately, it got into a fight with a couple RGs and didn't win. RIP. In the morning of day 22, I tried one more time to go out and get a nice, well, any level female Dimetrodon, but things did not go well. She ran into the water and I was running out of darts. Couldn't hit her before she got out of distance, so rip. Alright, let's see, 4.5 more hours. Let's go get some berries, I guess. Might as well while we're waiting. Went ahead and made it officially day 22. Ran out of crystal building the greenhouse. And got back to see that I needed a metric buttload of torches to keep this wyvern egg toasty. Because it was going to take another 4 days. Day 23. Day 23. There we go, okay. Ah, the majestic dung beetle. So nice, I tamed it thrice. After showing them their new 2x2 apartment, I went out beaver dam hunting, and didn't really have to worry about them chasing me, because, well, this Giga was gonna go and take care of that for me. Thanks, bud. Alright, let's check on this egg. 3 hours. Cool. Now, after getting some biotoxin with the Bessie here, it was time to go find some scorched Acros. Because this was going to be half of my boss team, so that means I can't use any traps because they are going into the arena, so it means I got to do this on foot. Great! Actually, this is my favorite way to do it. Now, the first Acro I come across, a 168 female. Great start, let's go ahead and tame her up. My taming method was working perfectly fine for me, and things were going well until the lag happened. For some reason, she didn't go into the defensive stance when she was supposed to. One more shot. Or 2. Alright, well that would not be the last accidental death on this map before the end of the game due to the lag. Okay, let's try this again. Alright, just gotta get it into defensive. Go and do the roar. Did you just... Really? Again?
You just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
And rip number 3. So I spent the rest of the day killing off all the low-level ones so that the nice high-level one can respawn. And hopefully not kill it this time. Okay. Okay, yeah, that'll do. Okay, let's go. Let's start this rodeo. 34 points in melee, 27 points in the hull. Yeah, that's some good stats right there. Let's just not mess it up this time. Okay, so far so good. Oh, this is going to be the last one. Oh, can we get it? Come on. And she's down for the count. Well, went back and killed off this Giga for its heart, because I plan on doing alpha for the map, and that means I'm going to need all the alpha tributes, which requires 1 Giga heart.
False.
Alright, now we just gotta find you a mate. Aren't you just so pretty? 42 health, 48 melee. Alright, 3, 2, 1. Wyvern! Egg! Okay, try this again. 3, 2, 1. Okay, that was weird. I shall name you Draco. And then the never-ending quest for bullets. Something seems off about these breeding timers. Gonna have to check that. Then finish off the last of the day by building a second greenhouse. Then got lucky enough on day 27 to finally find a male Rex to start breeding. And while it was taming up, went out to the desert to kill all the non-high level Acros. And since I wasn't sure if the Wyvern was going to make it with the slow raising time, I went ahead and tamed up this decent level Daedon and got really lucky on those colors. Oh great, Nick, now you tell me I could have used a bolo? Cool, thanks. And went ahead and named up this little beauty Nurse Blue, for obvious reasons. And she was doing a great job keeping little Draco alive. And on into the next day, still growing up, well, we gotta do some other things, because this is gonna take a while. So I was off to the Redwoods to tame the Forgotten Tame, the Archaeopteryx. Absolutely necessary for surviving the Labyrinth without, dying. So yeah, always get you one of these if you're on Rag. In my case, I actually ended up getting a breeding pair because at the end of the labyrinth you do have to sacrifice a creature, so whatever you take in, you're not bringing back out. So might as well breed them up, or just tame 2 disposable ones if you're never gonna do it twice. Those guys back at base safely breeding away, I attempted and failed one more time to get a nice high-level male. Very nice. And only on Ragnarok will you find not 1 but 2 titanosaurs falling from the sky. And after going back to base to repair my gear, I had no idea what was about to happen next. Could have ended the whole thing twice. Now, I had finally found a high-level male, and the first feeding went great. You know, did our thing. Second feeding, not so much because we were interrupted by this titanoboa. Well, after dispatching that, I only had one option left. Run.
Run, bitch! Run!
Now, it did catch up to me eventually after getting distracted by the titanoboa's corpse, and then it got distracted by the arthropleura, so good to go. So I thought, I am up in this dude's face, shoving biotoxin down his grill, but it glitched, and now my only option, again,
Run!
now this time my only option, because I didn't have enough distance, was to play merry-go-round with this thing and chase its own tail. Luckily, I was just outside of its bite radius, but, well, eventually, and it kind of, eventually cooled off. This was the scariest moment up to this 100 days, because this is still hardcore, and I am being chased by an enraged Acro. Luckily, with its stomp, got enough distance, and it eventually cooled off just in time. Thank goodness. Okay, let's do this again. Alright, let's get you a little beat up here. A little beat up, come on. Don't kill me, don't kill you. There we go. Okay. Start this over again. And things are seemingly going smooth. There's nothing around, the feeds are working fine. What could go wrong? He said sarcastically to himself in editing. Oh, did I say it went into rage mode twice? No, it went, that's right, 3 times, thanks to the lag. I had to escape this thing yet again. Hey, Nick, can we talk to legal about this? Alright, now we're back on track. Can we please stop lagging in the middle of an Acro team? Thank you. And that's the last one. Oh boy, it's been a long morning. Day 29. Here we go.
41 into hell? Ho-ho!
While the Acro was starving up, I went back to base and cracked these eggs and got the perfect thing. Twins, that's all I need. Might as well raise up these wyvern eggs too. Crack the lightning and the poison that I got on day 20. Named this one Buzz Lightning and the poison Bad Breath. Got the nanny set up doing her job, and then it was time to go check on the Acro. Alright, tamed this dude up, took him home, flipped on the baby switch, and let them do their thing. Then it was time to start my microbrewery, for my gardener of course. Then went on a nice little fat metal run, followed by picking up some artifacts. One of which you don't even need for this map. Like, why is the artifact of the strong even here? Like, anybody? Leave a comment below if you know. And with all that said and done, it was day 30 and time to pop out our first baby Acro egg. Let's go! Alright, well hatched up. Let's see what the stats are like. Not bad. Oh, no. 8 hours. Oh, no. Nick! Well, day 31 come along and it's time to jump right into the labyrinth. Then we push a few buttons, a little G, R, E, T, and A. Let's go. Now I decided to do the left side first because it's the easier side. I mean, there's less chance you're gonna burn in that room, so just, you know, get the button and go for a little swim and avoid some spikes, and it's easy. I'm telling you, it's so easy. Oh yeah, forgot about these guys. Got inside, almost missed that jump. That was very terrifying. And then I missed the door. Great, now I gotta do that all over again. Go into the room with the spikes, open the things up, and let's go again. This time I did make it through the door, but also a few of these creepy crawlies did as well. Now my first mistake was not bringing a torch down here. It took forever to find this button, and my second mistake was not bringing the proper dino down here. And, well, we only had Rudy. Sorry, Rudy. And he was our first tame, but he was too weak to stand against these cave freaking dinos. Oh god, sorry Rudy, I'm so sorry. Don't worry, your death shall not be in vain. Unless I die here too. Holy crap. This is not looking good. Having nothing left but a pair of flak leggings and a shotgun, I had no choice but to press on. After cheesing my way over the jumping spike puzzle with the Griffin Archaeopteryx, I got my artifact, and there's just one last thing left to do to open this door. The Archaeopteryx. What? Come on, go in the. What are you doing? I said go in the hole. Okay. Did you just walk over the? Seriously? Okay, no, really. I need you to go into this little hole, dude. Come on. Sorry. Okay, thank you. Alright, now just to go calm some spirits with my pump action shotty. Let's go. Easy. Alright, let's grab some artifacts and get the fuck out of here. On day 32, I gathered resources and waited until day 33 when Rocco was big and strong and ready to go chomp on some alpha carnivore. Well, let's go. And eventually taking this thing down and getting 24 levels. Hey, not bad. Day 34 was gathering help because I had some pretty good BPs for some fur, but I needed a lot of fur for the fur armor. Yeah, you know, Ice Queen, day 50. Let's go. And out on day 35, hunted for some fresh calamari. And with the area nice and clear, I was able to knock out this anglerfish for, well, obvious reasons. And after 2 days of breeding, still nothing good yet. And finally on day 36, I had the industrial cooker, which means I could finally make med brews and all the stuffs and, yeah, you know, not die. Great. Day 37, I gathered a crap ton of metal. Day 38, we took the angler out and got a crap ton of silica pearls. And then finished the day off by getting some more XP. Oh, okay. Cool. Day 39, and we had some fresh Acro eggs to crack and raise up, and then I decided to go out and find some megatherums. Just so happened that I found two high levels, male-female, right next to each other, so knocked them out. Although it did take until the next day to team them up because I didn't have any gibble, so day 40, here we go. Went out and tested out our first imprinted Acro, and hey, not too bad. Finished the day off by finally getting all the way down here and getting this freaking artifact from the Tuso spawn. I never have to come back down here again, thank goodness. Day 41 was spent basically breeding and breeding and breeding because, yeah, the timing was really slow. Nick, have we looked into this yet, Nick? Nick? Alright, turns out legal says if enough of you like and subscribe right now, I can change my breeding rates just enough so it's a little more balanced. So go ahead, hit that like and subscribe. Right there, it's free. Go ahead. You know you want to. Alright, let's go. And it's day 42. Start off by cracking a few more Acro eggs because we're getting pretty good here. We got some good stats going and named our first good ones after the people who commented first on my last 100 eggs. Thanks. As for the rest, well, you already know. Even got lucky with a color mutation earlier.
When I walk on by, girls be looking like Debbie Fly. I pick to the beat, walking down the street and I knew the freak.
After strutting around the desert, returned home to find that these babies didn't quite make it yet. And on the end of day 42, the ice wyvern egg that I found was hatched and named Minty Fresh. Day 43. We threw some babies on the body for Draco and did kind of just flew around all day, killing all the Acros in the desert. The entirety of the next day was spent looking for, finding, and then knocking out this Yuti, which was far easier said than done. And then finished the day off by picking up the artifact of the gun, as well as the artifact of the immune. And no, I totally didn't get lost down there. Shut up, Nick. And then found this nice level boss Acro, so named it after one of the commenters. If you want to be one, leave a comment down below. Made some kibble to go and find the other half of my boss army, and came across this 180 male with half decent health. So you know what? I'm gonna have to tame it up. After clearing the area out of hostiles, I tried to tame it up, but due to the heavy woods and now night, I decided to wait until morning. And then I got distracted by the shiny tech giga. Yeah, I know, Nick, I'm using a trap, but this one's not a boss creature, so it's cool. Yeah, tell Legal to go. Oh, they're on the phone right now? I'll be right back. After knocking out the giga, I remembered, oh yeah, I knocked out this Yuti. Let's go maybe check on that. Alright, food in. Let's go check on the giga. Don't tell me I woke up. I woke up! Why did you wake up? Because you're a giga and I wasn't here. Okay, well, let's do this again. Alright, for real this time. Okay, you stay here and don't wake up. I'll be right back. Because the Yuti's tamed.
What the hell?
Or not. Okay, thorny dragons. Well, at least we got a nice new tech giga and named it Natural Causes. And turns out I still needed a few more things for the alpha fight. Now, day 47 started and continued the trend of breeding more and more Acros until I got some better levels. I also tamed this bee and this Acatino. Day 48 was spent breeding, now with wyverns. And then on day 49 I went out taming, found a nice high level Bronto to replace Rudy, and some Ovis for forever meat, hide, and mutton. Now, the only reason I agreed to do this challenge is that Legal told me I would get 1,000,000 subs from this, so on day 50 apparently I have to go do the Ice Queen. But, can't do it dressed like this. Alright, now that we got the right gear on, we're ready to go take down this Ice Queen. And it should be pretty easy, because I got a plan, let me tell you. First, all we need to do is fly down Griffin, flip past a couple angry polar bears, easy, easy. Then we're going to be looking for a frozen survivor that almost made it out, but didn't quite. He's going to lead the way down. Once down at the bottom, we just got to pop out an Acro to test it out against some of these death worms down here. I doubt they'll need my help, but, you know, just in case, I'll have the handy shotty. Shouldn't be that hard to get past a couple of them, so easy peasy. And then we're off through the cave, pick up some loot along the way, and then we get to the first waterfall. Then we'll stop and make sure we have a fresh pair of leggings on, and jump down and hope that we don't die on the way down. Pop out a few wyverns and send them in to attack. Watch the show as they absolutely destroy the Ice Queen. Wah! Oh, Buzz? Well, that wasn't part of the plan. And then after she's dead, just go ahead and pick up the loot, pick up the artifact, and jump down one more waterfall, and off we go. Easy peasy. Ice Queen go queasy. I'm sorry, that was pretty punny. Okay, moving on. Yeah, it should be that easy, and you know what? It kind of actually was. So, moving on. And at the end of the day, I put away my spoils, seeing that nothing really exciting got out of it, but you know what? One more thing checked off for legal. Thank you. Now it's just on to day 75 when we take down the rock golem, and I've never done that, so yeah. And on day 51 I logged in and found out that Acatinas are like college kids on spring break, just wandering around all mate with each other. So we had to fix that, and then it was off to the Tame of Tuso. Unfortunately, I made a couple errors, seeing as that I only had one other underwater tame, and I didn't bring enough black pearls to tame it in one go. So eventually I just kind of had to sacrifice the Meg and go tase some carbos. Went back to base and cracked a few eggs while those things were taming up. And the next morning, before we ventured down in the depths, I let them do their thing, and this time we actually successfully finished the tame and got the Tuso. Killed the Alpha Meg for some easy levels. Yeah, 31 ain't too bad. And this guy had the same color patterns as my high school, and so we named it after the mascot. Took out the Bronto, put a nice Ascendant saddle on it, and named it Chaotic Berry Buster, because if you know anything about Chaotic, he's a little bit of a berry buster. Day 53 was essentially just grabbing more resources. And day 54, these beavers weren't buying my IOU, so we just had to take care of that noise. Then I introduced the thylas of this island to natural causes and collected a few hook claws. And day 56 I did a little bit of a meat run while getting some Tuso tentacles to try to make these baits for the helicoprion. As it turns out, the helicoprion doesn't actually spawn on Rag, or at least it didn't during the initial update, so yeah, big ol' waste of time. Then some more breeding on day 57. Day 58 I went AFK to let the creatures get some passive levels. Then went out and gathered berries with Chaotic to make some kibble. And day 60 we were out with Natural killing some Spinos. Found this Meg trying to evolve. You're not allowed to do that, bud. Now day 62 rolled around and I found myself hunting theories but unable to find any good levels. Just can't seem to find them anywhere. Alright, well, we'll keep looking. Well, after looking for days, I decided to go back and give my armor a paint job. Alright, let's see here. Man, you can't really see. Let's wait till sunrise. There we go. Much better. Looking snazzy. But no time for fashion show, it's time to go collect an artifact and hope we don't get set on fire. Yeah, this artifact. You know the one. At least this time I brought a couple torches. Alright, now just not burning to death. Let's do that. Alright, so far so good. Always run this corner every time. But that's why I got the med brews, and that's why I always bring extra armor. Alright, now to just glide with the ARK all the way down, and should be pretty easy. Or not. Okay, thank you, lag. Now eventually I realized that if I just made short jumps and took my time, I could get down to the entrance and not have to worry about all this lag. Then just had to sacrifice the ARK, calm a few of these spiritual beasts, and pick up a couple extra artifacts. And with that done, I would never have to go back down there again. On day 66, I found this lovely Tech Rex and knocked it out and named it Frosty when it woke up. And then later came across this nice high-level 180. Alright, we can work with that. But I kind of forgot about it, and it wasn't until day 67 that I actually went back to tame it. Okay, this is gonna take a minute. Let me go see if I can find you a mate. Alright, I guess this 168 will have to do. First, the male finished taming up and came out with some pretty good stats. 42 in the health and 47 in the melee. Let's go. And on into day 68, it took to get the female raised up. Unfortunately, she didn't have any good stats, so the male's gonna have to carry. And now with those two getting acquainted, it was just time to focus in on that lava golem fight, which is gonna be interesting. Now I did get an egg, but it will take a little while to incubate, so it was just on to the next day. Nice. It wasn't very exciting. Now on day 70 I was out looking for Yutis, and I did finally come across a good one, but not being allowed to use traps, this was going to be interesting to say the least. I mean, this thing was aggroing on everything. Plus the stupid Carnos kept coming after me. It was just not a fun day. Finally found a high level Yuti and knocked it out. And then around base I found this high level male Daedon and decided, well, might as well introduce him to Nurse Betty and get an imprinted war piggy before we go into this fight. Then I thought I got really lucky when I found this 174. Not realizing the first one I knocked out was female as well. So that means I was still gonna have to find one more Yuti if I wanted to breed these before the boss fight. Well, it was into day 71, but this male was finally gonna go down, and then I was gonna have a breeding pair. I don't know what was going on. It felt like ARK was actually throwing me a bone for once. Well, except for all this lag, but that means we only have a few days left before the lava golem fight, and let's just say that did not go smoothly. And then I made a nice big mistake. After finishing the tame on the second female, I ended up just logging out. And the next day started off by going and cracking a few Acro eggs, taking care of the unwanted ones. Even went so far as to name the female Sandy. Sandy! But then realized I never finished the tame on the male. Yep, rip. Went back to where it should have been knocked out, but it was long gone. And even though I searched for the rest of the day, I couldn't find another high level male. Well, guess I'll have to take the female that already tamed up. That should be fine, right? She has plenty of torpor. Well, now it's day 73, and there's still plenty left to do. Oh my gosh, look at the colors on this little guy. He's like black and white. Oh my gosh, we're gonna name you Skull Candy. And yeah, cool. Awesome. And it was out for some fresh calamari because Nurse Blue was pretty hungry and this was, well, the easiest way for me to get it. Yeah, easy. And then just back and popped out a few more baby Acros, hoping to get some better mutations. Finishing off the day by pumping levels into the boss ready ones. Now we just have to prepare for the lava golem. Day 74 was spent AFK letting the creatures raise up and get some passive levels, and it was also spent just getting all the resources for the rockets and everything else we were going to need. And I've never done this before, but I do know what kind of strat I need to do, and it's a lot of rockets and a lot of grapples and, you know, a little bit of luck. So let's see how that works out. Yeah, because this totally isn't ARK, and this totally isn't laggy server, and I'm totally not going to lag and die or anything, right? Now, sneaking past most of the creatures and only using the Megatherium where I really needed it, I eventually made my way down to the bottom. And after using some grapple parkour, I made my way down to the last staircase right before the artifact. And this is about the time things start to go horribly wrong. Now, I have grabbed this artifact many times before, and you pull yourself over, and then you get up and grab the artifact. But today, that didn't happen. Made it up, and then, what? Nick? I mean, come on, rewind that. Look at that. I was clearly on there, and then I just glitched into the lava? What is, no. Okay. Legal is saying we can get a redo, just have to rewind and reset the day. Fine. Alright, let's do this again, for real this time. Alright, let's do this. We got our grapples, check. Rocket launcher, check. And if we really need it, a shotgun, I guess. Let's go. Alright, finally made it through the cave again. Grappled over to the rock again, and oh, look at that. It actually worked this time. Perfect. And after breaking through the crystal, we were in the inner sanctum of the lava elemental. Alright, let's just try not to die and hope this goes smoothly. Alright, first shot to get his attention. Cool. First shot with the rocket launcher. Are you kidding me? Well, luckily, I only almost accidentally killed myself once, and even though I had gone through my first rocket launcher and the second rocket launcher, the only thing I had left was the fabricated sniper, and eventually we did get this big old beast down. Now, after winning the fight, I was feeling pretty good, but still really hesitant because I didn't know how to get to this guy without dying, and I wanted to check the loot. Eventually we got on top of the actual lava golem, got the loot, and then this happened on the way out. Alright, let's just grapple over, nice and easy. Are you kidding me? And after consulting with legal, they've determined that this was not a death due to my fault, and it was out of my hands. So this time they're just going to let me press on and not have to go and redo that for fear of it happening again. So, let's press on. Day 76, and we had all the artifacts. We're just short a couple alpha tributes. Easy enough. And while out in the desert picking up the desert loot drops, I came across this tame that I had to get. Rare female techie, and you know, we just so happen to have a male, so I think it's time to get natural girlfriend. So I went back and made a few shocking trank darts. Picked up a couple of my best long necks, placed down the bear trap, and then tried to lure her in. Which turned out to be easier said than done. She just wasn't interested in this Griffin booty. But eventually in the morning of the next day, finally trapped and very slowly tranking out. And just like the Titanic, after hours she finally goes down. And it looks like we got some pretty good stats after tame, so not too shabby. Went back and introduced her to natural and then named her Lady Causes. Now to finish out the day, here I am again making more ratfish treats. Why? Because you need those to tame the Helicoprion, which do not spawn on Rag, or at least they didn't while I was doing this, so I spent the rest of day 77 day 78 and day 79 underwater looking for these creatures that never spawned. And logging in on day 80, I see that we finally are getting close to having a second breeding Theory female, because we really need this Theory army to get this boss fight done. Now, the remaining of the days were spent basically collecting the last of the alpha tributes, as I already have all the artifacts. Now on into day 81, and it looks like we're just about 30 minutes away from our first baby causes. Oh, looks like it got a little too cold. Well, don't worry, we got plenty of things to do. Day 82, and we took out Charcoal, our first Imprinted Theory, to see he was doing 420 damage. Nice. Followed by a massive metal one, because I was going to need a lot of bullets. I didn't know it yet, but I was going to need every bullet I could get. And well, look at here, we have baby causes. Unfortunately, it did not get the good stats, so you know what we have to do. Yeah, we'll just try that again. Followed by going to the swamp and collecting the last bits of alpha tributes. And just grabbing a few Spino sales on day 83 with Wildcat. And just a few things left to collect for this alpha boss fight. And for some reason on day 84 my recording got sent like this. Well, basically we went for calamari because Nurse Blue was eating up all the food, healing up the boss dinos. But it was fine, it was fine. Still doing some baby breeding with these Acros, just in case I got a good level, and this color mutation came through. Too bad it was on oxygen. On to day 85 with high hopes of still finding a nice high level male Yuti when I did find one up in the Murder Snow Lake. Unfortunately, without using a trap and this dude aggroing on everything, he eventually pissed off the wrong group of direwolves and, well, didn't make it out. Well, I guess I didn't want that Yuti anyway. The next day, back in the valley, looking for Spinos, looking for those trophies. On to the next day, and I'm starting to see why I'm not finding any good Yutis around. Now, if you don't know, the Theories take a reduced damage from the fire breath from the dragon, and they can eat these sweet veggie cakes and heal back up a portion of their health during the boss fight. Hopefully keeping them alive a little bit longer, because I only have primitive saddles, so I gotta take everything I can get. Logging in early morning day 88, I see my baby Therazinos die. Why didn't you do anything? They were standing right in front of you. Why didn't you do anything? Oops. I returned later that day to find the next batch of Theories had also died. Like, really? What is going on? It was only at this point that I realized I didn't activate the nanny. So that one was kind of on me. I eventually apologized to Nurse Blue and the nanny in hopes that there wouldn't be any future mishaps. The rest of the day was spent collecting the Megalania toxin, and into day 89 collecting the Ceropod red ray from all the Bratos. Now, somehow for the next few days my recordings got a little funky. Well, I mean, they looked like this. Well, suffice it to say I can't use this for part of the video, so let's just all agree that I went and got the last of the artifact tributes and we were good to go. And then the day had finally come. Our army was ready, healed up, and ready to do some damage. With the army in place, there was one thing left to do. Activate the boss fight and kick this shit off. Let's go. After spawning in and just getting to the Yuti, we were immediately jumped by the Manticore. I scrambled to try to get the whistle on attack. Just a little tight in here. Need a little space, guys. Let's maybe back up a bit. I back up and notice that the Daedon is following me, but not on passive healing. So I had to jump off and get back on. That was a little scary, but things are going fine. Then the dragon decides to land, and we absolutely destroy this mother. Minute, they bring down the dragon, and now it's on to, well, I guess the hard part. The frickin' Manticore. Now, if you don't know, the Manticore likes to fly around a lot and shoot these little purple poisonous balls of gas, which will increase your creature's torpor and yours if you're not paying attention. Now, at this point, the Manticore had pulled in its minions of rock golems to distract my ground forces, while it simply just straight targeted me with all of its torpor arrows. And then in times when it finally did land, the rest of the army was so distracted with the rock elementals that it really wasn't getting too much damage from the army, so this was going great. Luckily, there were still times when the army was able to attack it while the manticore was grounded, and we were kind of getting there. Slowly but surely, we're winning this. Let's go! I was doing everything I can to whistle and buff and whistle and a buff, and then, you know, just with all those torpor attacks, the Yuti was starting to get a little drowsy, and that wasn't looking too good for me. And despite my best efforts to dodge and weave and use the stimulant, the Yuti still passed out, and now I'm on foot, and apparently there's friendly fire. I just killed my own Acro. Okay, this is maybe not looking as good as I thought it was. Let's regroup. I attempted to do what damage I could from afar, but with the splash damage from the rockets and friendly fire being on, I didn't want to risk killing my own dames, so I really just had the sniper rifle and the shotgun. But with the lag, it was really hard to hit this guy, so my next choice was to get on one of the teams that was left and hope I could do something with that. So I ran to the nearest Acro, jumped on the first one I could, and joined in the fight of pummeling this guy to death. Unfortunately, the army was kind of spread out, and it took a little while to get them all together again, but this guy is so close, so if we could just regroup, guys, let's do it! And after what seemed like forever, this guy finally got to the ground enough times with enough of the tames on him and enough curb stomps that he went down. And just like that, the challenge was defeated. Alpha, Dragon, and Manticore brought down to their knees. And you know what I gotta say to that? You're number one. And to everyone that made it this far, you are number one, an actual number one. Thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed all of it. Please subscribe now if you haven't already. Hit the like if you haven't, because what's coming up next is 1,000 hours in PvP. And let me tell you, it was difficult, but it was not impossible. Until then, I hope you have a great time. Check out this video over here to see how I did on Lost Island with no mods at all, and how my horrible loot did not stop me. I wish you all the best, and I'll see you in 2023.